Have you ever wondered why people still don't respect you even when you're kind and hardworking? It's not because you're not good enough, it's because you might be doing things that silently kill their respect. In today's video, I'll show you 7 behaviors that are quietly destroying the respect you deserve. Stop them now, because respect isn't something you can beg for. It's something you build the right way. When you're falsely accused. Silence is STRNGTH. There are moments in life when you're falsely accused at work, in relationships, or even on social media. The first instinct is often to scream, to explain, to set the record straight, because nothing hurts more than having your honor, your truth. You're very self-distorted by someone else's words. But pause for a moment. Did you know that the more you explain, the more suspicious you appear? The harder you try to prove your innocence, the deeper you sink into the chaos they deliberately created. They're not searching for truth, they're searching for a reaction. They want to see you lose your calm. And if you fall into that trap, you've already lost the moment you raise your voice. Truth doesn't need to shout, Marcus Aurelius once said. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. And that is enough. Those who live with integrity don't need to shout it to the world. The truth has a special quality. It endures. Lies may spread fast, but they die just as quickly. Truth takes time, but it always returns to its rightful place. You don't need to exhaust yourself trying to claim justice in the moment. You only need 2 things: silence and time. The story of James, the man who chose silence. Let me tell you a story. There was a man named James, a diligent and honest employee. One day he was falsely accused of misconduct he never committed. The rumor spread like wildfire. Colleagues distanced themselves. His manager grew cold. Inside, James wanted to explode. He wanted to scream his innocence, to explain to everyone. But then, he stopped. He chose silence. He kept doing his job well, maintained his composure and professionalism. He let his actions speak louder than any defense. And weeks later, the truth surfaced. The accuser was revealed to be someone with a history of manipulation and deceit. Not only was James vindicated, but he gained even greater respect for not lowering himself to argue, for not losing his dignity. Why you should choose silence. 1. Silence is self. When you know who you are, you don't need anyone's approval. You don't need to wave your words to protect your reputation. Your character will speak for itself. Point 2. Silence is strategy. The person who spread falsehoods wants your reaction. They want your outrage, your breakdown. That's their victory. When you stay silent, you strip them of their power. You force them to face their own noise. 3. Silence gives time the authority. You might win an argument today but lose your peace in the long run. Let time work quietly. People who pay attention will eventually see the truth. How to apply this in life if you're currently being falsely accused. Here are 3 steps to carry you through. Step 1. Stay rooted in your values. Don't let twisted narratives shake your core. You don't need to become louder to be believed. Step 2. Don't react, observe. Let their words pass without a trace on your face. Your expressions, your eyes, your tone. Let them remain completely still. Step 3. Act with consistency. Keep doing good work. Be kind, composed, and principled. Silence is not giving up, it's choosing right action over loud defense. Silence is not surrender, it's power in today's world. People are used to speaking out to clear things up, but in the moments of greatest chaos, the one who remains silent is often the most powerful. It's not weakness, it's the height of self-mastery. Remember, you don't need to speak to be understood. You don't need to prove to be respected. You only need to live with intent. Let time, truth, and karma speak on your behalf. When you're betrayed, silence is hating. Betrayal doesn't come from strangers. It comes from those you once trusted, family, friends, those who once held your hand and promised never to leave. That's why betrayal hurts, not just because you lost trust, but because you feel like you've lost a part of yourself. You feel broken. You want answers. You want them to understand how deeply they've hurt you. You want to scream, "Why did you do this to me?" Do you even realize what you've destroyed? But here's the hardest truth to face. The person who betrayed you may not even think they were wrong. Or worse, they know, and they did it anyway. Silence, not from weakness, but from strength. We grow up thinking every misunderstanding must be cleared up, but some betrayals need no explanation because the betrayal itself already speaks loud enough. And sometimes the reaction is exactly what they're waiting for. They want your anger, they want your tears, they want you to beg or lash out, because if you do, you're confirming how much power they had over you. But if you stay silent, if you walk away without a word, you take away their greatest privilege, the right to remain in your life. Seneca once wrote, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." And betrayal is such a trial. It doesn't come to destroy you. It comes to help you see clearly who's real, who's fake, who's meant to stay, and who must go, who's a true companion, and who is merely a tenant in the space of your trust. Sarah's story, choosing silence over confrontation. Sarah had a best friend for over a decade. They shared everything: dreams, struggles, joys, But one day Sarah discovered her friend had exposed her secrets and quietly sabotaged her hard-earned success out of jealousy. Sarah could have fought back, she could have confronted, exposed, or exploded. But instead, she chose silence. She didn't argue, she didn't cry, she didn't blame, she simply disappeared, and something strange happened. The friend was left disoriented. There was no battle to join, no accusation to deflect, no rage to twist, only silence and the echo of her own guilt. Silence. After betrayal is the loudest declaration one. Silence is the refusal to keep being hurt. You no longer ask them to understand. You don't wait for an apology. You quietly close the door they once had the privilege to walk through, and you never reopen it. Point 2. Silence forces them to face themselves. With no reaction from you, they are left alone with their own conscience as the only voice. 3. Silence protects your worth. You don't need to lower yourself to prove you're lovable or worthy of respect. You already know your value, and it's not up for negotiation. How to hold the kind of silence that heals you. Step 1. Accept who they really are. Stop clinging to the beautiful version of them you once believed in. That version is gone. See them clearly and you'll stop needing to hold on. Step 2. Don't try to finish the story. Not every story needs closure. Some people are not meant to be part of your final chapter because they wrote themselves out with their own actions. Step 3. Walk away quietly. No long messages, no explanations, just one quiet step back and leave them with their choices. Silence isn't punishment, it's freedom. You're not staying silent to get revenge. You're staying silent to free yourself from unnecessary chaos, to walk away from the emotional trap they tried to drag you into. You're not avoiding confrontation. You're choosing not to surrender. If someone took your loyalty and love for granted, the loss isn't yours, it's theirs. They didn't just lose someone who cared. They lost someone rare, real, and not easily replaced. Let your silence become the mirror to their conscience. Not with hatred, but with calm and self-respect. You don't need to win the argument. You don't need to prove anything. Just stay silent and walk away. Let karma do the rest, because silence isn't weakness. It's healing, it's grace, and it's the last word you'll ever need. When you're betrayed, silence is hailing. Betrayal doesn't come from strangers. It comes from the people you once trusted, family, friends, those who once held your hand and promised never to leave. That's why betrayal doesn't just feel like a loss of trust, it feels like losing a piece of yourself. You're shaken. You want to confront them. You want them to understand how deeply they hurt you. You want to scream, "How could you do this to me? Do you even realize what you've broken?" But here's the hardest truth. The one who betrayed you may not feel guilty at all, or worse, they know what they did and still chose to do it. Silence not from weakness, but from strength. We're taught to believe that every misunderstanding must be explained. But some betrayals need no explanation because the act itself says everything. And sometimes your reaction is the prize they're after. They want you to get angry, to fall apart, to cry, question, and cling. Because when you do, you're confirming how deeply they mattered, how deeply they could wound you. But if you stay silent, if you walk away without a single complaint, you take away the most valuable thing of all, the privilege of being in your life. Seneca once wrote, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." Betrayal is that trial. It's not here to destroy you, but to reveal the truth, to show you who's real and who's not, who belongs in your future and who doesn't, who is a friend and who is just passing through your trust. Sarah's story, choosing silence over drama. Sarah had a best friend of over 10 years. They shared everything: dreams, struggles, joys. But one day Sarah discovered that friend had shared her secrets and quietly undermined her. Successful out of jealousy. She could have made it public, she could have confronted her. But Sarah chose otherwise. No yelling, no tears, no blame. She simply disappeared. And something strange happened. Her silence left the friend spinning. No fight to feed off, no accusations to twist, no anger to provoke, just emptiness and the echo of her own guilt. Silence, after betrayal, is the loudest declaration one. Silence is the refusal to be hurt again. You don't beg for them to understand. You don't wait for an apology. You quietly shut the door they once had the privilege to walk through and never reopen it. Point 2. Silence makes them face themselves. With no reaction from you, they are left to sit in their own silence. And in that silence, they hear the voice of their own conscience without you saying a word. 3. Silence protects your worth. You don't need to lower yourself to prove you deserve love and kindness. You already know your value and you won't negotiate it. How to keep a powerful silence. Step 1. Accept their true nature. Stop clinging to the ideal version you once believed. That version is gone. See them clearly, and you won't need to hold on. Step 2. Don't try to write the last chapter. Not every story needs closure. Some people don't deserve a role in your ending because they already wrote themselves out through their own actions. Step 3. Leave quietly. No long messages, no explanations. Just one quiet step away and let them live with their own decision. Silence isn't punishment, it's freedom. You don't stay silent to retaliate. You stay silent to free yourself from unnecessary chaos, to step out of the emotional whirlpool They try to drag you into your not avoiding conflict or refusing to surrender. If someone takes your loyalty and love for granted, the loss isn't yours, it's theirs. They didn't just lose someone who cared. They lost someone rare, genuine, and hard to replace. Let your silence reflect their conscience, not with hatred, but with calm and self-respect. You don't need to win a fight to prove anything. You just need to walk away silently and let karma do the rest. When you're insulted.com is the highest RESPONSNO. One goes through life without being insulted. A sarcastic remark at a party, a passive jab at work, a cruel comment on social media are tools others use to provoke your emotions. Your instinct is to respond, to fire back, to put them in their place. But here's the truth. The moment you react, you've fallen right into their trap. They don't insult you to speak the truth. They insult you to gain control of your emotions. And if you get angry, just hand it over your most valuable possession, your inner peace. Insults don't define you. They expose the other person. When someone uses harsh words, mockery, or passive aggression to attack you, it's not because you're weak, it's because they are insecure. Their goal is to pull you down to their level, to make you abandon calm and self-respect, but you don't have to respond in kind. Silence when paired with calm is the sharpest answer of all. David's story defeating insults with silence. David had just earned a well-deserved promotion. At the celebration, a jealous co-worker muttered, "I guess they'll promote just anyone these days." Everyone turned, waiting for David to respond. A clever comeback, a flash of anger, a look of shame. But David simply looked at him, smiled slightly and said nothing. No comeback, no drama. Just silence. And the entire room respected him for. If David didn't just win the moment, he won with self-mastery. When someone insults you, don't respond. Understand the intent. They're not seeking truth, they're seeking a reaction. Insults are bait. When you take it, you give them control. Point 2. They want you to lose composure. Your anger is their victory. The louder you get, the more you lose yourself. 3. They want to pull you off center. By making you angry, they drag you out of the calm space where real strength lives. Stoic strategy. 3 calm steps. Step 1. Recognize the trap. Insults aren't facts, they're bait. Knowing this keeps you from falling for it. Step 2. Keep your expression neutral. A steady face, a calm gaze, and complete silence confuse the insulted because they can't predict your next move. Step 3. Act by principle, not by emotion. You don't need to react to win. You need only to stay grounded and let silence speak for your strength. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Marcus Aurelius, an insulter, hopes you'll stoop to their level, but the Stoic doesn't enter the mud. They stand calm, observant, and unmoved. Not all noise deserves your response. Ask yourself, is it worth losing peace over a careless remark? Is it worth reacting to someone who doesn't deserve emotional influence over you? Is it worth stepping into the mud to make someone else satisfied? No. And the answer is silence. Silence isn't weakness, it's authority. When you say nothing, you're not avoiding conflict, you're holding your power. You don't need to shout to prove yourself. You don't need to argue to be heard. Let your dignity speak for you, and that's what unsettles insulters the most. They simply can't reach you. End with self-control, not anger. Not everyone deserves space in your heart or thoughts. Not every word deserves a reply. Remember, your silence is an invisible shield. And when you stay calm, you respond not with words but with presence. When they play the victim, silence keeps you out of their Sierra Pete. Not everyone involved in a conflict seeks the truth. Some people, instead of having an honest dialogue to resolve issues, choose a different path. They play the victim. They don't seek clarity, they seek control of the narrative. They don't seek understanding, they seek pity. And if you're not mindful enough, you can easily get pulled into their drama, cast as the villain in a story you never agreed to be part of. When people use tears instead of truth, some people are masters at making themselves appear pitiful. They erase their role in the problem. They cry, they exaggerate, they twist the truth. And suddenly, in the eyes of others, you are the one who hurt them. You want to explain. You want to show proof. You want to set the record straight. But the more you speak, the worse you look. Because logic, no matter how clear, can never win against well-acted emotion. Rachel's story. Choosing to stop explaining. Rachel had a co-worker who constantly lied, avoided responsibility, and played the poor me card every time she was caught. Whenever Rachel tried to calmly present facts and hold the person accountable, the result was always the same. Tears, excuses, and Rachel being seen as harsh and heartless. Eventually, Rachel chose silence. She stopped explaining. She didn't respond. She didn't argue. She stepped back and quietly did her work with the calmness of stone. Time passed, and people began to notice this person always had a sad story. There was always a new enemy. They were always the victim. And without an audience, the act collapsed on its own. When facing perpetual victims, you need calm, not justification. They don't seek resolution, they seek attention. To them, everything is a performance, not a conversation. Don't waste your words on someone who performs instead of listens. 2. They need you to play the villain so they can shine. When they cast themselves as the wounded soul, they need someone to blame. If you react, you've unknowingly accepted that role. 3. They may be good manipulators, but they can't manipulate silence. The calmer you are, the less power they have. No emotional script can unfold without your participation. 3 Stoic-inspired steps for dealing with emotional manipulation. Step 1. Stop explaining. You don't need to provide evidence. You don't need to walk through every detail. Those who trust you don't need proof, and those who don't need proof and those who don't, nothing will convince them. Step 2. Observe without attachment. Watch their drama from the outside. Don't get pulled in. Don't let your peace be disturbed. Hold your center like a still lake. Step 3. Let time and repetition reveal the truth. Someone might put on a convincing show once or twice, but lies can't hide forever. By staying silent, you allow the truth to surface naturally and more powerfully. Epictetus once said, "Complaining is pointless and never appropriate." And in truth, people who constantly play the victim aren't complaining to fix anything, they're complaining to drag you down with them. Don't step into that swamp. Stand outside of it tanned, keep your feet clean. Silence isn't avoidance, it ends the show. There's one thing professional victims fear most: indifference. When you don't react, don't engage, don't reply, they lose their audience. And without an audience, the show ends. Let them talk, let them cry, let them paint their story, but you don't step into that frame. Your absence in their story is what unsettles them most. You don't owe justification to those who don't want to understand. Truth doesn't require you to shout. Trust isn't built through arguments. Let your silence and consistency in action speak for you. You don't need to defend yourself in a movie you never agreed to star in. Let your steadiness speak for you when someone keeps playing the victim. Step back, not because you're weak, but because you're wise. You don't need to join every emotional war others create. Remember, you cannot make someone understand if they don't want to. You don't have to prove yourself right to those committed to misunderstanding you. And you absolutely have the right to choose silence over becoming a side character in someone else's drama. When your value is ignored, step back to be seen. Have you ever felt this? You're the one who always shows up, the one who messages first, the one who checks in, remembers the little things, and is always there whether they need you or not. And yet, one day, you realize something chilling. No one asks how you're doing. No one remembers you unless you speak up. No one sees you, even though you've always been present. Being too available can make you invisible. The painful truth is, people often don't appreciate what's always there. They don't recognize your value when you're constantly giving, constantly showing up, constantly patient. You think the more you give, the more you'll be loved. But sometimes, the more you give, the more you're taken for granted because your kindness becomes an expectation, not a precious choice. Jake's story, learning to step back. Jake was the reliable one. He remembered everyone's birthdays, sent words of encouragement when someone was down, and always initiated conversations. He didn't ask for much, just a little recognition. But one day he noticed if he didn't message first, no one messaged him. If he stayed silent, everything faded into silence. And Jake realized he wasn't cherished, he was just convenient. He didn't start a fight. He didn't complain. He didn't post cryptic quotes or lament online. He simply stopped. And what happened? Those who truly cared noticed his silence and reached back out. The ones who were only there to receive, they disappeared. And their absence didn't hurt, it cleared the air and made room for peace. The more you try to prove your worth, the less they see it. One. Value isn't proven through explanations, it's felt in absence. When you're always around, people stop seeing your light. But when you step back, they feel the emptiness. And sometimes, that space is what finally wakes them up too. No one learns to appreciate you if you keep paying without reciprocation. The more you force, initiate, and sustain a one-sided relationship, the more you lose yourself. 3. True worth doesn't need to scream, it carries its own weight. Those who can see it will. Those who can't, no amount of explaining will help. 3. Stoic-inspired steps for when you're being ignored. Step 1. Stop initiating. Don't message first. Don't place yourself in the center of someone else's story. Let them come to you if they truly want to. Step 2. No need for anger, just stillness. Silence isn't passivity, it's selective energy. You don't need to be loud to be seen. Sometimes, disappearing at the right time speaks loudest. Step 3. Watch who stays. Those who truly value you will notice your absence. Those who don't, they won't even know you've gone. And that is your answer. Seneca once wrote, "Time discovers truth." Sometimes, truth needs distance to be seen clearly. When others begin to feel your absence, that's when they realize how much your presence truly mattered. Absence has a voice and it speaks louder than complaints. You don't need sad social posts. No need for cryptic messages. No guilt trips. Just stop and let silence say everything for you. Silence makes people reflect. When you're no longer there, they remember how warm, thoughtful, and present you used to be. And if they truly have a heart, they'll come back if not celebrate. You've just removed a toxic connection from your life. Your value isn't measured by others' eyes but by your own. You don't need to be more special to be acknowledged. You just need to stop trying where there's no response, because your silence isn't surrender, it's a message. If you couldn't see me while I stood right here, then learn to feel me when I'm gone. Don't beg for attention. Let absence speak. Value doesn't need to be chased. Real love doesn't survive on one person's effort. If someone wants you, they'll come. If they don't, you still have yourself whole, grounded, and impossible to ignore by your own heart. When provoked, staying calm is the highest risk tour. Why have you ever found yourself in a situation where someone keeps poking at you, mocking, teasing, or throwing veiled insults? Not because they're being honest, but because they're trying to pull you out of yourself and break your inner peace. They're sarcastic, they provoke, they accidentally say things that hurt. But here's what you need to understand clearly. Their goal isn't you, it's your emotional reaction. And if you react the way they want by getting angry, arguing, defending yourself, you lose yourself and give them control. They don't want to be right, they want to win over your emotions. Provokers don't care about truth, they feed on your lack of control. When you get angry, when you react, they win, not because they're right, but because they've made you abandon calmness, the most precious asset in any interaction. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Marcus Aurelius. And that remains true even when you're being provoked. Adam's story, refusing to add fuel to the fire. Adam had a colleague who was very skilled at provoking others. During every meeting, this person would throw sharp, ambiguous jabs, always trying to throw Adam off balance. At first, Adam responded. He argued, defended himself, tried to save face. But the more he reacted, the more drained he became. Every argument was a drain on his energy, until one day Adam changed. When attacked, he didn't frown, he didn't snap. He simply smiled, lightly, nodded on, said nothing. And then something remarkable happened. The provoker didn't know what to do. No reaction, no drama. The silence confused them. They lost momentum eventually. They stopped. True power is holding on to yourself when others try to break you on. When you react, they win. Even if you're right, losing your temper means losing your center. And a Stoic never surrenders that center. 2. When you remain silent, you stay above. No one can pull you down unless you choose to leave your grounded position. Point 3. When you're no longer controllable, they lose their grip. Provokers rely on your reactions to fuel their game. Without a reaction, the performance falls apart. 3 Stoic steps to responding calmly to provocations. Step 1. Recognize the tactic. If someone constantly mocks, jabs, or accidentally hurts you, realize it's not random. It's a strategy, and you don't have to play. Step 2. Stay calm like stone. No frowning, no explaining, no flashes of anger. A soft smile, a calm nod in silence that says, "I'm not playing your game," louder than words. Step 3. Exit the stage. Don't drag it out. Don't argue. Don't let them pull you into a battle they've planned. You are not obligated to entertain others with your emotional energy. Silence isn't avoidance, it's refusing to be controlled. Silence in moments of provocation isn't weakness. It's a deliberate choice. It says, "I'm strong enough not to speak, I'm wise enough not to need to defeat you, I'm deep enough to know you're not worth my reaction." The strongest person in the room isn't the loudest, it's the one no one can provoke. You don't have to answer every word, you just have to stay yourself. If someone regularly tries to push your buttons, ask yourself, are they worth the price of your peace? Do they truly seek understanding, or do they just want control? What power do they have? If you stay silent, answer, none. Your silence leaves them with no role to play. Don't react, regain control. You can't control what others say, but you can always control how you respond. When provoked, remember, you don't need to argue, you need to stay calm. You don't need to defeat them, you need to master yourself. You don't need to explain, you need to wear silence like armor. When you remain calm in the storm, you don't just survive, you inspire. When they regret losing you, silence is the strongest form of COMPACISON. Some people only realize how important you were once you're no longer there. When you stop texting, when you stop checking in, when you disappear without a single word of blame, that's when they finally realize you were never just always there. You were a gift given and taken for granted. Their awakening often comes after your wounds while you were present. They assumed your care was guaranteed. While you were holding the relationship together, they believed you'd never change. They forgot, even the warmest hearts have limits. And then one day you quietly walked away. No arguments, no complaints, just gone. And your absence began to echo not in sound, but in the emptiness no one else could fill. Olivia's story, choosing silence to heal her. Olivia loved deeply. She remembered every small detail, initiated every message, checked in even when no one asked about her. She believed if I give enough, eventually they'll see. But she was wrong. Her partner grew so used to her presence, they forgot it was a choice, not an obligation. One day, Olivia had enough. She didn't scream. She didn't post emotional status updates. She simply walked away in complete silence. Weeks passed, a message came, "I'm sorry." Then a phone call, "I realized I was wrong." then a promise, "I'll change." But Olivia didn't answer, because in her silence, she had healed. And now, she wasn't going back just to comfort someone who once dismissed her heart. When they regret, one regret often comes from absence, not understanding. Many people miss the comfort you gave not because they understand your pain, but because they miss what you used to provide. Point 2. Don't return just because they woke up late. You are not a train station waiting for someone's moment of clarity. Your heart is not a platform for people to come and go. 3. Silence is the kindest yet firmest message. You don't need to say "I was hurt." You just need to no longer be there and let them sit with the void they once ignored. 3 Stoic steps to responding with strength. Step 1. Don't give them an easy way back. If they ignored you when you were present, your absence is their lesson, not your guilt. Step 2. No explanations, no blame. You don't need to list their mistakes. Silence preserves your dignity, while accusations only give them a chance to play the victim. Step 3. Heal with distance. Not every connection needs restoring. Some people belong in your memory as a lesson, not as someone who returns. You don't owe a second chance just because they regret they had you on, didn't value you. That was their choice. That was the ending they wrote. Now your silence is not revenge. You deserve someone who sees your worth while you're still there, not someone who only looks back with regret. No one is free who is not master of himself. Epictetus' freedom doesn't come from someone returning. It comes from not needing them anymore and still finding peace. Your absence will teach what your presence couldn't. Thorn, they lost you. They lost someone real, someone who remembered, who cared, who stayed. That kind of love, it's rare. They might find someone new, but they won't find you again. You don't need to go back. You need to move forward. If someone regrets losing you, wish them peace from a distance, because you've already found your own peace in silence, in dignity, and in gratitude for yourself. You don't need to answer their late messages. You don't need to fix what they once let fall. You only need to keep walking without looking back. Don't reopen the door they once slammed shut, because if they didn't value you the first time, they don't deserve you the second. The final message. Silence is the strongest word of those who no tread longer need to prove themselves in a noisy world. Everyone tries to be heard. Everyone wants to explain clearly, argue until the end, make their point known. But at some point, you realize the more you say, the more of yourself you lose, and then you stop, not because you lost, but because you no longer need to win. The moment you choose silence is the moment you take back your power. You once longed to be understood. You wanted someone to see your pain. You defended yourself, argued back, tried to explain your side. But you came to a painful truth. Those who truly want to understand you don't need to say much, and those who choose to misunderstand you could explain forever, and they'd still twist it to serve their own story. So silence is not avoidance. It's a decision. I will no longer let my energy be manipulated. I no longer need to exist in their version of the story. I don't need words to end this, because my silence is the final message. The final chapter doesn't need dialogue. Picture someone who once ignored you, someone who assumed you'd always be there, always care, always love, and one day you stopped. No accusations, no anger, no farewell words, just absence. And you know what echoes the loudest in their heart? Your silence. It makes them think, reminds them of all the moments you gave. It forces them to face what they once denied. They lost something precious because they didn't cherish it. Silence is not weakness, it's strength. Refusing to be loud. Some battles don't need to be fought. Some accusations don't need rebuttal. Some people don't deserve a goodbye, because the wise know the truth doesn't need to scrim. It always returns. Dignity isn't measured by how well you argue, but by knowing when to walk away. And sometimes walking away is the most powerful thing you'll ever do. 3 lessons you learn when you let silence speak for you. 1. You are no longer a supporting character in someone else's drama. They may have provoked you, hurt you, played the victim, even came back with regret, but you've grown, and now you no longer need to respond to. You no longer need to be understood. Those who want to understand will. Those who don't never will. You choose silence not because you surrender, but because you place your peace above their validation. 3. You let the universe do its work. Karma doesn't need your voice. Truth doesn't need your defense. Time will reveal everything with precision and in silence. Stoicism doesn't teach coldness, it teaches steadiness. The Stoic is not emotionless. They feel but don't react recklessly. They hurt but don't let pain drive their behavior. They are silent, but that silence is a conscious choice, and so are you. When you choose to stop with grace, you don't need to slam the door. Just close it quietly. If someone hurt you, ignored you, played the victim to make you look like the villain, you don't need to retaliate. Just quietly close the door. Leave behind the justifications you no longer owe, the unreciprocated hopes, the silent tears you once shed, and walk away without looking back. When the final message is no message at all. Not everything needs a final conversation. Some things end best with stillness. Silence can be the clearest goodbye. Silence can be the deepest I understand. Silence can be the boldest I choose myself. I don't need to be heard to know I am worthy. I don't need the last word because I've lived truthfully from the beginning. And if someone asks, why didn't you say anything? You may simply smile and think, because silence was the final word I chose and it said everything. Respect doesn't come from luck. It comes from the way you live and how you face yourself every single day. If you've made any of these 7 mistakes, don't blame yourself. Start changing today, and you'll see, people will begin to look at you in a completely different way. If this video helped you realize something, give it a like, share it with someone who needs it, and don't forget to subscribe so we can keep growing into more respected versions of ourselves, together.